Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with my beat, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to unmute my sample, and I'm actually going to solo it. And now, since my beat is done, and it did end up a lot longer than I anticipated, but I feel like with Soundtrap, you understand, it can definitely get like that sometimes.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Alright, so I would like to chop up Hasta la vista, baby. So the easiest way to do this is just to look at the sound wave and try to just chop up the words. So I could get hasta la vista, although those two words, and then baby.
Hasta la.
So right there is the beginning of la. Hasta is here. I'm going to go to edit. I have to make sure I click on the track so it's highlighted. This is kind of a funny thing. Split region is what you're going to use a lot. And if you have a Mac, you can use a shortcut of Command E. I'm going to use that a lot because it's just easier and faster. So you'll notice I made this into two pieces. It doesn't change anything about how it sounds.
Hasta la vista.
So
La vista.
I think that's la and I think that's V. So if that's the beginning of vista, should we highlight? Command E.
La vista.
Undo.
La vista. Vista.
There's vista. So you gotta kind of noodle around, and you could chop this up sort of imperfectly too, which makes it kind of interesting.
Vista, baby.
All right, there's baby. Okay, so I'd like to do some stuff to this track just in general. So you don't need to do this, but I'm sort of just feeling like I'd like to add this. Now here's the problem. Let's say I want to make the voice high pitch. So I'm going to say plus 2 octaves. That's crazy, by the way. You'll see. I just did it to this.
Hasta la vista, baby.
So one more time.
Hasta la vista.
See how it only changed this? So you need to be careful. And I really wouldn't do any crazy edits until you're finished. All right. So what I mean by finished is you're finished chopping this up. Now I'm just going to kind of move these out of the way. I'm just going to deal with hasta. Hasta.
Hasta.
I'm actually going to chop this up even further. In fact, that's not even what I'm going to do. I am going to make a bunch of copies. There's a second copy. I'm just doing copy paste. Do this however it works for you. Alright, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Now, this will make it kind of stutter. I'm going to trim this part of the track. Notice how in the bottom here I use these little squares. This trims your track to get rid of all this stuff in the beginning, which really isn't much, you can tell. Now I just took 3 astas.
Hasta la vista.
Oh,
La vista.
I didn't realize that this was another part of asta. So it's kind of sloppy, y'all. Don't hate. I'm going to get the rest of that asta. Bring it over here. Just chopped it off. Come here. Alright. See what that does?
Hasta la vista, baby.
Now this is where you might really want to start messing with the beats. So you'll notice up here, trying to zoom to a level where you can really see these little tickers, and then they have lines. You want to actually line this stuff up sometimes. You might notice sometimes that if you try to pull the track, it like only goes certain places. This little magnet right here affects that. So when you turn off the magnet, you're turning off it snapping to the lines. That's good sometimes. So maybe here I wanted this to start a little bit off the line. Let's say I've listened to it a bunch of times. But then for the rest of it, I really kind of wanted to stick to the beat. It is so hard to grab these tracks. You have to zoom in. It's actually helpful to zoom in anyways. So see how we have a line right there? I'm going to pull this right over to the line. And I'll do it right there too. Almost.
Hasta la vista. Hasta la vista. Hasta la vista.
You can select a lot of things by clicking and dragging, kind of drawing a box. All these little pieces get real annoying. And again, I don't really know what I'm making here. This just takes a lot of trial and error. Everyone samples differently.
Vista.
I want to hear it with the beat.
Baby. Hasta la vista. Baby.
This is mad corny and I know it, so I'm just going to keep being corny. I'm going to take this baby and I'm going to pile them all on top of each other. I didn't mean to do that. Undo. All these small pieces you really have to zoom in. Just copying and pasting.
Baby. Hasta la vista. Baby, baby, baby.
All right. Please make yours better than mine. I am going to leave it. Your sample doesn't need to be very big. I could just keep doing it, but I'm just gonna call it. So what you need to do now to be able to make this sound kind of cool, or cooler than it already sounds, is you need to go to I'm sorry, settings, merge tracks. So you need to go to settings, merge tracks. And I only want to select my sample track. The rest of this stuff is a part of my beat. I really don't need to do anything there. Perfect. So you see now that my sample track isn't at the top anymore. It moved down to the bottom and it just says merged. If that bothers you, you could always rename it. I'm going to rename it Hasta La Vista sample, just so I know what it is. And I liked it back at the top, so I'm going to move it back up. This, you don't have to do that, guys, but you definitely should merge the track, because then once you've merged it, you can go here into edit and you can really have a good time. So I could do things like reverse it. I'm going to undo that. But you can on your sample. That might be kind of cool. You can also reverse parts of it before you merge it, but voice transform is kind of interesting. I haven't messed with all these, so have fun. These change your notes higher or lower, plus anything plus and make it higher, like anything lower will be deeper. So I'm going to try something I haven't tried before. I'm going to try robot. Why not? Because again, you are taking something old and you're making it new. So it doesn't have to sound like it's original. Alright, it's blowing my speakers out, so I'm going to turn it down a little. Let's say I really like this, and this is what I want to jam with. Maybe I'll do a little bit more. Also, if you double click, oh, no, I lied. Looks like they don't let you do very much. I would like to maybe move that up a little bit, because that robot's a really low pitch and it kind of blends in with the rest of my beat. Okay, I changed the pitch. Cool, it's kind of like a dollar store future, y'all. So I took an Arnold Schwarzenegger quote and I turned it into something very, very different. I could keep going, but I'm going to stop here. I'll play the whole thing for you right now. And please let me know when you have questions. This is really up to you what you guys do. It could be a whole different mood than this, a whole different sample. Good luck.